everybody. Welcome to Greater Chennai Corporation Education Department YouTube channel. This is R. Vinola Fernando, BT Assistant in English, working at Chennai High School, Jafarkhanpet. Hope you are all fine there. Today we shall discuss about the supplementary lesson in Unit 5. The name of the lesson is A Day in 2889 of an American Journalist. The author of this lesson is Jules Verne. Now, few words about the author Jules Verne. He was born in 1828 and died in 1905. He was a French poet, playwright, and novelist. He was proudly called as the father of science fiction. He is also a well-known predictor of technology. A Day in 2889 of an American Journalist. Time, 29th century. The author has also specified the date. It is 25th July in the year 2889. Place, a fairyland, the office block of the managing editor of Earth Herald. Earth Herald is the world's largest newspaper. Now coming to theme and situation, in this futuristic story written in 1889, the writer describes how he visualizes the world 1,000 years later in a world of technological advancements where newspapers are not printed but spoken. Before moving on to the lesson, we will see the main characters in this story. Mr. Francis Bennett, an American journalist, Mrs. Edith Bennett, his wife, Jovians, the people of planet Jupiter, Cash, a reporter, Corley, another reporter, Aero coachman. These characters play main roles in this lesson. A small introduction about the lesson. This story speaks about one-day lifestyle of Mr. Francis Bennett, a busy American journalist at modern times in the year 2889. Before proceeding to the lesson, we shall also discuss about the glossary words. Earth Herald, the world's largest newspaper. Phonotelephone, transmitting and receiving both voices and pictures for a conversation. Here in this word, phono means sound, phot means images, just like the video calls of today. Now, third glossary word is Champs-Élysées, a prestigious place of entertainment in Paris. Phototelegrams, it is a telegraphic transmission including images. Now, what is the difference between phonotelephone and phototelegrams? Phonotelephone transmits sound and images. Phototelegrams transmits images alone, just like sending pictures. Next is Centropolis, a new name for New York City in 2889. The last glossary word is valet, personal male attendant. A Day in 2889 of an American Journalist. Francis Bennett awoke in a bad temper Temper means angry mood. His wife, Mrs. Bennett, had been in France and he was feeling very lonely. He switched on his phono-telephone to have a direct conversation with his wife in Paris. He felt better as he heard his wife's voice. He went into his mechanized dressing room. The machine washed, shaved, and dressed him up from top to toe. Here in these pictures, you can see the machine helps Mr. Francis Bennett in his personal work. Francis Bennett then goes into a reporter's room. All his 1,500 reporters were passing on the news to subscribers which they received during the night from different parts of the world. The subscribers not only have the stories but also the sight of all the events. Francis Bennett questions Cash, who is an astronomical reporter, about his search on the news. Cash tells that he has got photo telegrams from the planets Mercury, Venus and Mars. He also says that the Jovians from Jupiter cannot be reached as their signals cannot be understood. That very day, the scientists of the Bennett factory started working out some means to turn the moon round. Francis Bennett seemed to be very happy and satisfied when one of the Earth's herald astronomers had determined the elements of the new planet Gandhini. Just imagine how happy he would be. They found that it is at a distance of 12,841,348,284,623 meters and 7 decimeters. Its orbit round the Sun takes 572 years, 194 days, 12 hours, 43 minutes and 9.8 seconds. Francis Bennett was so happy for the news to appear on the same day. Mr. Francis Bennett had reached his dining room half a mile away at the far end of his office. There was a series of taps before him on which appeared the dining room of his home in Paris. Mr. and Mrs. Bennett had planned to have lunch at the same time virtually in spite of the distance by means of phono-telephotic apparatus. Francis Bennett is one of the subscribers of the Society for Supplying Food to the Home through a network of pneumatic tubes. What are pneumatic tubes? Restaurants in this imaginary world installs pneumatic tubes to deliver dishes to home. Just as we have restaurant people here and food delivered to our houses, these pneumatic tubes are transported using air pressure directly to homes. After his lunch, Francis Bennett goes to Niagara to have a check on his accumulator in an Aerocar. An Aerocar flies at a speed of 400 miles per hour. You can see the Aerocar in the picture. The wheels of the car can be folded while it is flying. He reaches Niagara within half an hour. At Niagara, he used the force of the cataracts to produce energy. He then sold or hired it out to the consumers. He returned to Centropolis by his Aerocar around 5 o'clock. Mr. Bennett had a discussion with his inventors. A young fellow gave him a petition that he was going to construct a human being with only one thing missing in it, and that is soul. He assigned the young fellow to the scientific editorial department. A second inventor shared his idea of moving a whole city in a single block. Francis Bennett was attracted by this project and agreed to take a half share in it. The day seemed to be very busy to Francis Bennett. During his meal, he had phonotelephonic communication with his wife who was in Paris. Francis Bennett asked his wife when she was coming back to Centropolis. She said that she would immediately start by the submarine tube and reach exactly at 11:59, which is the Centropolis time. Submarine tubes are the closed water bodies which can submerge deep underwater. Their speed of travel is more than the other transports. Here the author specifies the accuracy of time 11:59, which denotes that in future the precise of the time will be taken into account. In other words, we can say that time is even more precious. Submarine tubes are the vessels which travel faster than aero trains. It takes 295 minutes to travel from Paris to Centropolis. Francis Bennett decided to have his bath. He touched the button, rumbling sound began, and he was bathed virtually. He seemed to be very tired after the whole day's tiresome job. The busy day ends in a happy note. Now coming to the conclusion part, the lesson tells us about the futuristic world and one-day lifestyle of Francis Bennett in his modern world as an American journalist. It is truly an imaginary one, but who knows, it may bloom to reality in near future. Next comes the questions for the SSLC public exam. Question number 37, 38 and 46 deals with supplementary. Question number 37, we have rearrange the sentences in coherent order which carries 5 marks. Question number 38, we have the passage comprehension which carries 5 marks. And question number 46, we have the hints development which carries 8 marks. So totally 18 marks are allotted for supplementary. Coherent order which carries 5 marks. Question number 37 deals with this coherent order. We have to rearrange the sentences. So you can see that here we have 5 sentences. For this you need to read the lesson and understand its content. You have to write the full sentences in the correct order. All the sentences are jumbled, so now let's rearrange them. So let us read the given sentences. It was the world's largest newspaper. His wife was in France. He saw and spoke to her by phonotelephone. The story was set on 25th July 2889. Francis Bennett was the managing editor of the Earth Herald. So these sentences are jumbled here. Now let us do it correctly. The first sentence will be, the story was set on 25th July 2889. Francis Bennett was the managing editor of the Earth Herald. The third sentence will be, it was the world's largest newspaper. Here it denotes the Earth Herald. Fourth sentence will be, his wife was in France. The fifth one is, He saw and spoke to her by phono-telephote. So if you write all these 5 sentences correctly, you will be getting 5 full marks. Next one is the passage comprehension, which also carries 5 marks. Read the passage and answer the questions given below. A passage will be given from your supplementary text and 5 questions will be given at the end of this paragraph. You have to read the lesson, read the passage and understand it and write the answers in your own words. Each question carries 1 mark and you have to write the answer alone in full sentences. Next comes the hints development, which carries 8 marks. Write a paragraph about 150 words by developing the following hints. Here, hints will be given and you have to develop those hints into sentences. I will read the hints for you. July 25, 1889, Francis Bennett, direct, leading newspaper, bad temper, wife, away, 8 days, phono-telephote, wife's voice, dressing room, inquired, astronomical reporters, lunch, pneumatic tubes, Niagara, Aerocar, many petitions, reducing, 3 elements, moving the town, SAF, wife return, ended the day, a bath before to bed. So after reading the hints, you have to frame sentences with the given hints. It has to be developed into a meaningful story. You should also give a suitable title which carries 1 mark. Moral or punch should be written at the end, which also carries 1 mark. The paragraph in the middle carries 6 marks. So the title, your developed paragraph, and in the end you have to give a moral or a punch. Now, I would like to give you an assignment for today. Take your textbook, page number 158. You will have the identify the character speaker, and in page number 159, you will have the choose the best answer. You write the answers and after writing them, please show them to your parents or teachers or even to your elders. Get it corrected by them. This is simply to know how far you have understood the lesson. Thank you, dear students and all well-wishers. Hope you have understood the lesson and the various tips given to face your board exams. All the best for your future endeavors. Stay happy and stay safe. Thank you once again.